Hey guys, just sitting here in my home office. Just want to have a heart to heart talk about financial trauma that I carried with me into adulthood. Just sitting here with Blaze. He's sleeping, snoring in my ear. Sitting here snoring. But yeah, I want to talk to you guys about financial trauma. From being broke and having no money as a child and how that followed helped and how I believe that shaped my life and took my life into a different course than what I originally thought the course I was on. And let me explain. So I was a great athlete, guys, a great athlete. My specialty was track and field and football. So as a youngster, I played football and I ran track. Guys, I want you to know this. The stories I tell, there's no embellishment about my stories. They're true and factual parts of my life that I lived, that I'm sharing with you guys. And I just want you guys to know that no one has said my stories aren't true or anything like that. But I just want you guys to know, when I talk about things that I went through in my life, those stories are true. They're factual. They're things that I went through. And if it's one thing you guys have always said about me is that I'm very relatable. And that's why I relate things that I went through in my life because I know you guys can relate to it. So guys, I was a great athlete. My specialty I was football and track. When I played football, wide receiver, and in track, my specialty was the 200 meters and the 400 meters. So when I was my eighth grade year, and my eighth grade year, that summer of my eighth grade year, going into high school, my freshman year in high school, I ran in Junior Olympics. I ran for a track club out of Kalamazoo, Michigan that summer, going from the eighth grade to the ninth grade. I went to like four different meets and I had to qualify. I was running the 200 and I had to qualify to go to Florida for the national championship. And I happened to win, in Lansing, Michigan was the last meet, and I ran the fastest time, and I qualified to go to the national championships for my age group, 13, 14, and in Florida. So I believe it was in 1986, because I think Michael Jordan was in the league for 2 years. Then I think Mike came out in '84. Yeah, because I was no, maybe it was '84 because I was born in '72. No, it was '86 because I was 14. Because I was born in '72, and this was in '86. So Mike was the guest speaker after our finals. Michael Jordan was our guest speaker, and I got third place in in the national championships in Florida. Your boy placed third place for my age group, 13, 14. So I go into my freshman year. I got a name for myself already coming out of middle school. And so my freshman year, I played football, and then I ran cross country, and then I ran track. My freshman year. My freshman year, guys, I qualified for the state championships in Michigan in the 400 meters. Got fourth place. Got fourth place as a freshman in the 400 meters, right? And now all this time, man, my head is getting big as shit. I'm getting big, because everybody knows me. Everybody knows me. Fourth place in the 400 meters as a freshman, state championships. So if I would have kept my head on straight, I would have owned state till I graduated. I would have owned state, but things didn't work out that way. So the spring of my freshman year, I started working because my mom didn't have a whole lot of money. She did not have a whole lot of money. So in order for me to get, some really nice clothes and really keep some really nice pair of jimmies, give me a car, I had to start working. So I was working a lot that spring while I was running track, and my grades was falling behind. So, but I kept myself eligible. No, well, I kept myself eligible. At least I thought I did. And but I stayed eligible, just by barely. But I was working a lot. So then comes my sophomore year, right? My sophomore year comes. So I didn't even play football this year because I wanted to work more because I wanted some money. Like I said, my mom didn't have a whole lot of money. My dad didn't have a whole lot of money. My dad lived an hour away, doing his thing with his new wife, and not a whole lot of financial support from him. So I was working a lot that summer, trying to stack up my money. So I ran cross country, but I'm working so much. When my sophomore year started, I'm working a lot. I managed to run cross country, but my grades were taking a hit. So I finished that first semester. I grades was just falling. Grades were just falling. So the second semester, the spring semester, my sophomore year, I'm ineligible to run spring track outdoor, right? So my track coach told he was really cool with my shop teacher. So he had my shop teacher change my grade to help me become eligible so I could run outdoors that spring of my sophomore year. You know, my track coach, after he did that, he came over to my house. He had dinner with me, my mom, my stepdad. Told them, hey, y'all need to keep Frank on track, keep him in his books, because Frank can be a world class runner in track. He's like, I've trained college athletes. I've helped train Olympic athletes. Frank has Olympic talent. But you know what, guys? My mind was on money because I did not have great financial support. Didn't have great financial support. So I tried to keep my grades up that spring, but I couldn't maintain my 2.0 to continue to run. And so I ran in like 3 meets, and then my track career was over. Track career was over. And that right there sent my life spiraling out of control. Spiraling out of control. Because I started hanging out. I'm only thinking about women. Skipping school. Because once my track career was over, I really didn't care about anything else. I really didn't care about anything else. And in my mind, I blamed my mother because I felt like if she had more money, I would have been able to concentrate on school and not work so much, and I could have went to college. I felt like I was robbed of a college education because I would have got a full ride scholarship. There was no doubt about it because I was that good. I was that good. I know I would have got a full ride scholarship to try. I know I would have because I was after my freshman year, and I got fourth place as a freshman in the state championships out of all the schools in Michigan. I was on my way. I was on my way. But I felt like I had to work because my mom didn't have enough money to get me the things that I needed, like some shoes here or there. Have a few bucks in my pocket. Some clothes when I needed clothes, things of that nature. I mean, she provided for me, but not like the extra stuff that I wanted. You know, she didn't have much money. My dad didn't have much money. There was really no financial support from my dad whatsoever. So, like I said, once I became ineligible and couldn't run track no more, it's like I didn't really care about anything else. And then I carried this into adulthood because I felt like I could have. There's no telling how my life would have turned out had I went to college, got a college education. Not to say it would have made my life that much better, or who's even say if I'd be making more money. But I just feel like I had to grow up sooner than what I wanted to grow up. You know what I'm saying? I had to grow up faster, sooner. Started working when I was 14 years old because I wanted money, you know. And I felt like for a lot of times as I was growing up, when I was younger, a younger man, I felt like I was robbed. My life was robbed. My young life was robbed of enjoying a young life and going to college and not having to worry about a whole lot of things that adults have to worry about because I had to start working. So once I had to start working like that, I didn't even care about school anymore. I didn't care about track anymore. And then I carried that into my adult life. And to be honest with you guys, that's why I grind the way I grind. That's why I'm so focused on living, so focused on building my wealth. Because that trauma just followed me throughout my life. You know what I mean? Like right now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I got two grandkids, right? I got two grandbabies, two daughters. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I have anything to say about it, they're not going to be working jobs until they get out of high school. They're I'm gonna make sure they don't have that pressure that they have to go to work. If they want to go to work, fine. And work 2 or 3 days a week, that's fine. But with their parents and myself, I'm gonna make sure their studies and schooling is important. That they don't have to go out and work a job because they worrying about having some money in their pocket or they want a car and things of that nature. I'll make sure I'm putting myself in a position that I can help provide for my grandchildren. I don't want them to have that pressures. My kids didn't work during high school. They didn't work during high school. I felt like that I was robbed of that by having to go to work. I couldn't enjoy my younger life because I had to go out and work. I had to become a man sooner than I wanted to become a man. Blaze. I felt like I had to become a man sooner than when I wanted to become a man. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like my young adult life, my young teenage years, I felt like I was robbed of that because I had to go to work. You know what I mean? And I carried that trauma into my adulthood because who knows? I think I honestly, I think I could have went to the Olympics. I really do. I had that type of talent in track to where I think I could have went to the Olympics. I think I could have because I was a beast on that track field, man. I was a beast on that track. I was a beast. I was the man, you know. And then it's kind of like when I couldn't run track no more, just kind of like I just didn't care about school no more. Um, yeah. And then that led to other things, me becoming rebellious, getting in trouble with the law, all that type of shit that I had to deal with. And sometimes I think, if I would have, been able to go to finish high school smoothly, you know, get my track scholarship and go to college, I just wonder sometimes where my life would have went. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I just want to share the story with you guys. Just want to share that with you guys. Yeah, because I, like I said, I brought that trauma followed me into adulthood, and that's why I grind the way I grind right now to build my wealth. Because I don't want to experience broke. I don't want to experience that. I don't want to experience not having enough money because those were some painful years. Now that I look back on it, those were painful years for me when money just wasn't enough money around. Wasn't enough money around for me to just be a kid. You know what I mean? Just wasn't. Just wasn't. So guys, yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you guys. Y'all see my Mamba poster here? I'm a huge Kobe fan. Mamba mentality. Gotta put this up on my wall. Yep. But like right now, that's why I grind the way I grind, guys, with my savings, my investing, because I never want money to be an issue in my life ever, ever again. So, guys, thank you for tuning into the video. Please remember to like the video, share the video, and most important, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Frank Talks Money. Blaze says, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good night. This is Frank. I am out.